The TPLF rebellious offensive in Afar territories was certainly no accident. In the archives of the TPLF, recently seized by the Ethiopian authorities, it appears that unpublished documents have been recovered. It is a sort of Balfour Charter, drafted in 1968 by the TPLF, which deals with the creating a Tigray state, by amputating a few Amhara and Afar lands. If for the Amharas, it is a question of land, the charter concedes an entire chapter for the Afar case. Along the eastern part of Ethiopia, the Afar region has a considerable advantage that arouses envy. It is the gateway to the former Abyssinian kingdom. This charter describes step by step the measures to be taken to break down the Afars at their roots, so that their region becomes a sort of protectorate under the direct authority of the Tigray government. This charter was reviewed and redefined in the 2000s when the TPLF found an invaluable ally, who is the current president of the Republic of Djibouti, Ismail Omar Guelleh. The latter is committed to rendering the Djiboutian economy sterile, linking it forever to Ethiopia, so that Djibouti does not become a sovereign and independent state. And he succeeded without a shadow of a doubt. The second commitment was to brutalize its population and especially the Afar population. Why the Afar? Because the Afar people are established all along the Red Sea. Because to ensure a maritime supply for the Tigray region. But also to realize the wish of the President Guelleh, which is to seize Afar lands. That is why the pact was necessary for both TPLF and Ismail Guelleh. Indeed, the Djiboutian president controls Afar people by repression or scheming. A population that is disconnected from political life and above all kept in absolute misery in Djibouti. In return, the TPLF would assist IOG in the creation of an ISA state in Ethiopia, which, in the first place, would encompass all of Zone 3 of the Afar region of Ethiopia and the city zone. To which would be added the capital Djibouti, the region of Arda, the region of Ali Sabi and part of Dikal to form an ISA country, if there is disintegration of Ethiopia or a fortuitous will of the Djiboutians to desire a partition of Djibouti, a sort of well-crafted referendum to record the separation. So a legal way, if not, for the mentioned regions to become antennas that would fortify the ISA government of Ethiopia. The creation of the Arda region which envelops the capital Djibouti, and which has been attached to Lake Assal, the establishment of ISA colonies in the peripherals of Dikal, the creation of the port of Tadra expressly requested by the Tigrayans, the refusal granting Djiboutian papers to Afar natives, all meet this very specific agenda.
Fortunately, to the great happiness of the Afar, the emancipation movements of the Oromo people and the demonstrations which resulted from it upset the situation, precipitating the decline of the TPLF, which hastened to expose its basic project, secede. One of the aspects of the charter stipulated that, if necessary, Tigray would attack the Afar region, to consolidate its authority, and that the army of Djibouti under the ISA's banner, would launch offensives from the southeast, in order to counter any Afar reinforcements that might turn out to be out of ethnic solidarity. A large Djiboutian army device has taken up residence in Gobad. At present, nearly 3,000 soldiers of ISA's ethnic, are enrolled in the militia being formed in Hadagala. The goal? Join the two armies, TPLF, ISA, in Mille, to have control over the corridor and subsequently request a ceasefire which will take up the conditions set out in the charter, creation of a Tigray and ISA state and put under supervision Tigray from the Afar region, economically stifled. The federal government would be forced to agree with the terms. Note that through this strategic game, the TPLF, ISA's alliance would control, on its own, the three axes that supply the Ethiopian hinterland. But which future for the Djibouti of tomorrow? Nothing. Except for this particular status of almost a state, but in reality a dependency under the authority of Tigray in the north, and the government of City in the south. The war that the Afar are waging against the Tigray today, is a war for the survival of Afar identity and the assurance of semi-sovereignty for Djibouti.